Professor Minh.
Thank you so much. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, just a moment. Can you see my slide?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. Okay, just a moment. Okay, here. Just a moment. Okay, here. Okay.
There you go.
It's okay. Yeah, first of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the organizer, the Asian Center of the University of Philippines. It was a long time. I have not been in the Philippines, but today I think it is a very good chance for me to meet all colleagues and friends, and Dr. Misra from Malaysia and other people. So I was thinking, what should I talk about this in this seminar? I asked the organizer and said that, oh, something recent, current development of the Vietnam-China relationships. So second, I would like to thank the previous presenters who already mentioned time to time about Vietnam, and I was jumping in the discussion. There was such kind of problem like, okay, Dr. Quick Cheng Chi mentioned about already about the so-called hedging, okay, or the question about Vietnam-US relationship, or the question whether Vietnam, okay, should join the Quad. So there are already a question or interest about Vietnam. I think Vietnam is special case among Southeast Asian country. I think Vietnam, okay, has very special position because of the long history of the relationship between two countries. Not give nothing about the fact that two countries are similar in some aspect, like the same political system, okay, the position of the Communist Party of two countries, the economic interdependence, and last but not least, the so-called country okay, proximity. So my presentation today try to answer the question, yeah, how can Vietnam deal with China in the South China Sea? Only one issue, but the most important security issue for Vietnam today. My presentation consists of 4 points. Number one, I raise the question, what is the important or why the Vietnam-China relationship in the South China Sea is so important? And the second, I try to answer the question, okay, how assertive is China in the South China Sea? I would like to say here in Vietnam, we use the word Biển Đông, the Eastern Sea in Vietnamese, and it is not allowed to say the South China Sea. So please accept my word Biển Đông. Okay, you learn a little bit Vietnamese word Biển Đông for the South China Sea. And number three, I will answer the question, what is Vietnamese position in Biển Đông in the relationship with China? How can Vietnam deal with China in the South China Sea? And number four is the conclusion. Okay, go ahead. Number one. Looking back, okay, just only last year and this year, I observe, okay, the serious challenges raised by China in the South China Sea, in Biển Đông. There are many, okay, evidences to show that China became more assertive in the South China Sea. This is not new, but to 2020 and 2021, okay, since 2019 and especially 2020, the problem of the South China Sea, the dispute in the South China Sea became more serious, more obvious. The question is why? And how can Vietnam deal with? Because the more assertive China is, the ASEAN country, including Vietnam, became more difficult to solve the problem. And for Vietnam, the question is more difficult because Vietnam and China have the comprehensive cooperative strategic partnership. So among partners, China, position China's status in Vietnamese foreign policy occupies the most important position, the so-called comprehensive cooperative strategic partnership. How to deal with China? With this comprehensive cooperative strategic partnership, I think for Vietnam it is big dilemma, difficult. So the question is, can Vietnam sacrifice its national interest for illusory friendship? This question was raised by the former Prime Minister of Vietnam when there was a crisis between Vietnam and China in 2014, when the Hainan oil rich of China came to the continent shelf of Vietnam 2014. It took 3 months long as it's left Vietnamese continental shelf. And that's why during this time, Prime Minister of Vietnam raised question, can Vietnam sacrifice its national interest for illusory friendship? Or, today I say that the other question to solve the dilemma of Vietnam is, can Vietnam destroy the comprehensive cooperative strategic partnership just because of the South China Sea? So it is very difficult for Vietnam. I think not only Vietnam, but other countries, if we listen to the first presentation of Professor Roland Talampas, you see that Southeast Asian nation, consider between rivalry, the big power rivalry, US and China. For US or for China, it's difficult, right? So, with this question in mind, so we go to the next part of my presentation, the China assertive policy in Biển Đông. You see that's I listed a series of action of China in the South China Sea from May 2019 until today, recent days. So you see in May 2019, for example, China obstructed the activity of Malaysia's drilling rig. Also in May 2019, China blocked the Philippines from approaching T2 Island. And then, we move to the next from July to October. There was a series of action of China. For example, it sent survey ship Haiyang DH to conduct 4 seismic survey in the water within 20 nautical miles of Vietnam. Chinese Coast Guard vessel Haijing 35111 harassed the Japanese rig Hakuryu 5 chartered by Vietnamese joint venture with Russia Rosneft in blocks 0601. So you see, there was a series of action of China, not only towards Vietnam, but to other Southeast Asian countries, from Malaysia to the Philippines, Japanese, and not saying also Indonesia. And move to 2020, the first action of China that was very provocative on April of 18 April of 2020, China was forming the so-called Sisha district and Nansha district in Prasen and Spratly Island, and it is really a violation of the so-called sovereignty of Southeast Asian country when it is unilaterally impose this formation of 2 districts in the dispute area. China in August 2020 also hold 4 trains in South China Sea and East China Sea. It is really also very serious action. Moreover, the same August 2020, China launched 2 missiles, DF-26B and DF-21D, into the South China Sea. So you see 2019, 2020, and we are now in June of 2021, but from the January, okay, on 22nd January, okay, after 2 days of President Joe Biden took position as president of the US, China passed the Coast Guard law, and it is really created big concern for the country when this law allowed the Coast Guard of China to use every instruments, including military one, in the so-called area that China claimed as its sovereignty. And March 2021, since the beginning of March until today, the country, the Philippines and Vietnam are very worried when a big number of Chinese fishing ships, verifying from 200 to 300 ships, stay at the Whitsun Reef with one reason that's to escape from typhoon or uncomfortable weather. But it is not understanding for many people, and it's it seems to be to repeat the Scarborough case 2012 when China also blocked the Scarborough, and by the end the Philippines has to give up to the control of the Scarborough to China. So if one observes this situation of Chinese assertive policy, one is very, very, very concerned and very worried. But on the other side, very pessimistic. If we look at this one, we say that, the power politics, the assertive policy is dominant in the South China Sea. But fortunately, but not it's actually one side. On the other side, you see also the other development, the trend of the so-called the legal pattern of the country. You see, just only 4 days ago, the Malaysian foreign ministry sent a note to Chinese, to People's Republic of China to protest the Chinese intrusion of 16 aircraft to the Malaysian maritime zone. And last year you see, last year 2020 you see the note, so-called diplomatic note of the US and 3 countries, France, Germany, and the UK. It is very, very special when the outsider power like France, Germany, and UK also protested the so-called unlawful action of the China in the South China Sea. The US, for example, rejected the maritime claim as inconsistent with international law as reflected in the so-called Sea Convention, UNCLOS 1982, or the France and Germany and UK here, they also protested China exercise of historic rights over South China Sea. And this historic rights, this such kind of announcement of historic right of China over the South China Sea does not comply with the international law and the provision of the UNCLOS. So you see that there are two trends. On the one side, Chinese assertive policy. On the other side, okay, the so-called legal baton, and it was provided, okay, inspired by the PCA decision in July 2016. So 5 years ago, the PCA gave a verdict. China has no legal basis and historical claim in the South China Sea in the so-called 9-dot line map, and this provides impetus, it provides catalyst for the so-called legal baton today. So what is the Vietnam position in this? Okay, in between two trends, okay, the power assertive policy of China and the other legal. What should Vietnam, okay, be? You know that Vietnam and China is, as I mentioned at the beginning, is a comprehensive strategic partnership. China and Vietnam is so close. Ally during the Vietnam War. Okay, although there was some down, okay, period during the 1979 to 1991 when two countries clashed in the border after the Vietnam involvement in Cambodia. But today, relating to the South China Sea question, okay, you know that Vietnam view China action as unlawful under the UNCLOS. So Vietnam instrument is, okay, using the UNCLOS as one instrument in the, okay, question of the South China Sea. Vietnam also look at China relation and claim that China is deliberately attempting to turn undisputed water into dispute space. Yeah, because according to Vietnam, okay, the Spratly and Parasen, okay, belong to Vietnam. So there is no dispute here, but China tried to do so. It means that they turn, okay, undisputed water into disputed, so they make the situation more complicated. What is a Vietnamese advantage? Of course, it's very, okay, if we compare Vietnam and China or the whole Southeast Asia, we see that it is the so-called uncomparable or the asymmetric relationship in all terms, from territory, population, military strength, etc. It is really big, huge asymmetric between Vietnam and China, but Vietnam has some advantage. Number one, the strategic culture, long history of Vietnam in relationship with China. Okay, teach Vietnam how to deal with China. The nationalism of Vietnam is very strong. Okay, the spirit of independence of Vietnam was shaped by the long history to defend the country. And among countries in Southeast Asia, Vietnam is also rich in defense expenses through the first Indochina War and the second Indochina War. Such kind of expenses, so Vietnam is, okay, more experienced. So fighting COVID-19 today, for example, Vietnam also inspired by such kind of expenses. Okay, turning from peaceful situation to the wartime situation is easy for Vietnamese, or Vietnamese can accept such kind of changing very easily. Vietnam also, a strength of Vietnam, I think, is Vietnam, not only from Vietnam, but Vietnam share the common view and value with other Southeast Asian countries. I think it's the same. It's respect the international law, peaceful resolution of conflict, no using and threat of using force in international relations. Such kind of value, I think, is very common for small and medium size power. And Vietnam has never ruled out, but okay, the last point, Vietnam has never ruled out the military defense and legal option until diplomatic Pham. It means that, okay, in the agenda of Vietnamese in terms of relationship with China, okay, beside other option, okay, the military defense and legal option are the last when, okay, diplomatic way was failed. And 2 points more very important for Vietnamese position in Biển Đông, I think, is number one, the official Vietnamese foreign policy are for no. What are the for no? Number one, no military allies. Okay, the question, for example, of joining the Quad, if the Quad is a military ally, then it's out of Vietnamese consideration. No reserving territory, Vietnamese territory for military base. No taking side, okay, between, for example, two sides, okay, US and China, having the so-called conflict. Vietnam will not take the side of one to fight the other. And recently, it added one more point: no using forces in relationship. So it is a for no in Vietnam, and there are 3 strategic options for Vietnam, I think. I would like to thank, okay, the Dr. Quang Chu for, okay, showing, for explaining the hatching. So here 3 options for Vietnam. What are they? Balancing. I think this is very low because if you look at the for no, okay, in previous, okay, saying, you see that Vietnam would never or would not join military ally to balance with Chinese power. Alone, Vietnam cannot also balance with China by itself. Of course, it's because Vietnam is, in comparison to China, is not comparable. Second, bandwagoning. This option is also low because if Vietnam, okay, step down, or if Vietnam, okay, make some compromise with China, China can, okay, step by step, making more and more action in the South China Sea. Vietnam cannot sacrifice also the relationship with other country for China. And you know the spirit of nationalism of Vietnam is very strong. So bandwagoning is also very low. And hedging's option is possible, or so far Vietnam already follows the hedging, because hedging included for, okay, action. Number one is economic pragmatism. Vietnam has done so far. Direct dialogue. Okay, Vietnam exchange information. Okay, follow the confident building measure with China and other countries. Number 3 is soft balance, participation of Vietnam in multilateral dialogue and organization. And number 4 is a hard balance. Vietnam also, okay, promote its military strength by buying some weapons from other countries. So among these 3, okay, strategic option, okay, hedging seem to be more suitable, but Vietnam also does not forget the other 2. So my conclusion are 3. I have a 3 conclusion. Number 1, in the South China Sea, in Biển Đông, there is increasing a pattern for power and legal pattern. We can see that during 2020 and today, you see it is a pattern between, okay, 2 trends, power and legal. And it is like in the international relations theory, it is the pattern between realism and liberalism, right? Power and institution, law, okay. And I think as medium power, Vietnam does not accept political power. Is number 1. Number 2, Vietnam can neither sacrifice national interest nor destroy strategic partnership with China. Because as I mentioned, Vietnam-China relationship is very special, and China, okay, is in the special position of Vietnam foreign policy. So the main objective of Vietnam here is to maintain the peaceful environment for economic development. And Vietnam also, since 1986, since đổi mới, follow the multilateralism and diversification of foreign affairs. It tried to solve the problem dispute by negotiation in diplomatic way. And number three, among three options, balancing, bandwagoning, and hedging, the most likely is hedging. But as I mentioned, Vietnam prepare also for other. And combining, I think this all three, balancing, bandwagoning, and hedging, is a strategic option for Vietnamese foreign policy. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.